Lord, thank you for this day, for the presence of everyone in this call. For once again, we are gathered and given the opportunity to appreciate life and your words. Forgive us for our shortcomings and cleanse our hearts as we learn and live your words and example. Father, bless our endeavors, especially today's meeting. May you guide us in our discussions, and may you enlighten our minds in every decision that we make. Give us your grace that we may effectively do our parts for your greater glory. All this we ask in Jesus' name. Amen.
Sorry, ganito lang ako Sana di na ako nabuhay.
Sanay naman akong iniiwan. Ganyan naman kayong lahat eh.
Lahat naman ayaw sa akin eh. Wala namang nagmamahal sa akin eh.
Parang pamilyar, hindi ba? Sadboi at Sadgurl. Kalimitan nating nababasa ang mga sikat na katagang ito sa iba't ibang uri ng social media platforms. Tampulan ito ng mga memes at short posts dahil marami ay ang tiyak na nakaka-relate na sa ganitong mga linyahan. Ayon sa Urban Dictionary, Sadboi or Sadgurl means one who is often upset by the things in the world, often questions what life has for them and talks about things and what they are. Often brings confusion about depression because most of the time you will see them upset and thinking, though it is not hard to get them in the mood and simply aren't depressed. Sometimes we make jokes of suicide but truly have no intent to do such things. Ang mga Sadboi o Sadgurl ay may tendency na magkaroon ng toxic na pag-uugali. Maaaring maging manipulative sa isang sitwasyon o tao.
Sige, pag iniwan mo ako, magpapakamatay ako. Gusto mo ba yun?
At walang accountability sa kanilang wrong actions.
Hindi ko kasalanan yun, promise. Kung hindi naman niya ako nilatikan, hindi naman kita lolokohin.
Karaniwang nangyayari ito sa isang relasyon o pagkakaibigan o kahit na sa mga magpapamilya. Napapaisip ka na ba kung paano nga ba malalaman kung ang isang tao ay may intensyon kang manipulahin? Saan at bakit nga ba ganito ang kanilang pag-uugali? Paano may iwasan ng mga ganitong tao? Siguro ngayon pa lamang ay may naiisip ka ng partikular na tao. Pero teka, kalma muna. Baka mamaya, isa ka din sa kanila.
Magandang buhay! Ako nga po pala si Hana, ang inyong magiging host para sa webinar na to na may pamagat na Sadboi, Sadgurl, Spotting Manipulative Behaviors and How to Deal with Them, kung saan pag-aaralan natin ang iba't ibang tactics ng manipulative behaviors. At ano ba dapat ang ating gawin? Disclaimer lang, hindi dapat natin labelan ang kahit na sinong tao na nagpapakita ng kanilang emotional side na Sadboi or Sadgurl. Pero dapat nating i-spot ang kanilang manipulative behaviors. At tandaan, a person can be a Sadboi, but that not necessarily means that he is manipulative. There's a big difference between being just a Sadboi or a Sadgurl and being manipulative. At hindi rin natin kino-condemn or hine-hate ang mga tao na manipulative. Pero iniiwasan natin ang mga katulad nila at ang mga behaviors na ginagawa nila para sa sarili nating mental health. Ang mga taong katulad nila ay maaaring may pinagdadaanan din. Baka meron din silang mental illness na pinoproblema. Kaya, tutulungan din natin sila na mag-grow. How to spot manipulative behaviors? Yan ang tatalakayin nila Hana, Kim, at Alicia.
Have you heard about manipulation? Did you experience manipulation? This event will help you to figure out about manipulative people. But before we start, let's talk about what is manipulation is. Manipulation or emotional manipulation is the use of devious means to exploit, control, or otherwise influence others to one's advantage. In the extreme, it is the purvey of tricksters, swindlers, and impostors who disrespect moral principles, decide, and take advantage of others' greatly and gullibility. People who manipulate others have common traits. They make you feel irritated in their way of being liar, blame, comparative, and also to play with your mind. Manipulation can happen in many forms. They want you to be insecure with yourself. They make you to be dependent on them. They gonna use your weakness against you. There are some traits of manipulative people. It is important to examine healthy relationships and understand what makes them healthy. Avoid responsibilities. It is not that manipulative people don't know how to take responsibility. It is that they choose not to in order to pass the blame and play with the victim card. Detecting other weakness. Manipulative people often find those opportunities and use them to their advantage. They know limit in using others. They will get what they want no matter it takes to get there or who it hurts along the way. Rationalize behavior. These individuals are constantly rationalizing their behaviors and never stop to realize how their actions could be affecting others. Bad talking strategy, they are constantly putting others down and trying to create rivalry and disharmony. Most likely, they will be doing the same thing to you when you're absent from a discussion or situation. Again, I am Junailin Avalos from Bid 1A. Thank you.
Sadboi or Sadgurl are words that are circulating the internet today. But what do they really mean? Sadboi or girl is used to label someone who tries to manipulate or control other people by using different actions that capture their feelings. And since this kind of people has become prevalent in our society, it is important for us to spot their manipulative behaviors and know how we could deal with them. Here are some signs that someone is manipulative. First, they will guilt trip you. Since manipulation is about being powerful, a manipulative person will do anything they can to keep you feeling confused and weak. Oftentimes, they do this by scrabbling your brain with weird apologies and guilt. Guilt is an innate emotion that we have, especially because most of us don't want to be responsible for hurting or making other people sad, which is a good thing. However, manipulative people tend to use this in order for others to feel that they are responsible for something, which makes them guilty and try to compensate for it by following what they want. Dito marahil nagmula ang mga katawagang sadboy at sadgirl dahil sa mga sitwasyon kung saan sinusubukan nilang mag-guilty ang isang tao sa pamamagitan ng paulit-ulit na paghingi ng tawad sa mga bagay na hindi naman talaga nila kasalanan. Second, they ignore your input. In order to get his or her way, a manipulative person may sneakily and conveniently assume you agree with everything they say. Manipulative people also has this superiority complex by assuming that their inputs or decisions are always better than other people. Thus, they assume that everyone agrees with them. Sa mga ganitong sitwasyon, makikita natin ang kawalan ng maayos na komunikasyon at hindi pakikinig sa opinion ng iba. Third, they don't give you much time to decide unless you're in the middle of a heist or other time-sensitive situation. There is usually time to think things through before making a big decision. When someone has no time to decide, he he or she tends to just conform to the first option offered to them, which is used by manipulative people to make sure that everything will go as they want them to be. Susubukan nilang madaliin ang isang tao upang hindi na siya makapag-isip pa ng mabuti. Fourth, they don't resolve problems. Unresolved arguments are common in unhealthy relationships, mostly because they are pretty convenient for whoever is getting their way. Unresolved problems gives the manipulators more opportunity to manipulate someone because they can use the signs mentioned above. Kung maayos ang sitwasyon at walang problema, wala silang magiging rason upang mamanipula ng ibang tao tulad ng guilt tripping. Fifth, they undermine your self-confidence. This form of manipulation is classic because no one is more malleable than someone with zero confidence. That's why manipulators will do whatever they can to knock you down and make you feel less than, because they always want to be the superior one. They don't want others to have high self-confidence. Mas madali para sa mga manipulator na imanipula ang isang tao na walang tiwala sa kanyang sarili. Sixth, they force you out of your comfort zone. Again, manipulators want to retain the upper hand. Doing so is always easier if they can get you somewhere uncomfortable, aka out of your comfort zone. All of these behaviors can easily be done in an uncomfortable situation. It is easier to manipulate someone if they're not as is and their mind is not at its best state, which is beneficial for the manipulator. The next one is they batter you up with small requests. Manipulators are also often asked for reasonable favors, only to follow up soon after with their real request. When helping someone, we always want to give the best that we can, especially if they are close to us. With this, being able to do small favors makes us feel like we haven't done much, which is why when they ask for something bigger, we always agree to it. Ginagamit ito ng mga manipulator upang makuha ang mga gusto nila na hindi matutukoy bilang maliit na bagay. 8. They offer the silent treatment. If you've ever been given the silent treatment, then you know how manipulative it can be. Silence always bothers the other person because we tend to be curious in what they are thinking or that they are very upset about something. In order to break the silence, other people just conform to what they are saying so that the environment will go back to normal. Next is they pretend to be concerned. It involves fake feelings. The manipulator will display some fake concern for your well-being, all in an effort to undermine your decisions and confidence, according to Lancer. All of us goes through tough situations, and when that happens, we don't want to be alone. We want someone to comfort us. Dahil dito, nagkakaroon tayo ng utang na loob at tiwala dahil concerned sila sa iyo. Ang mga sinasabi nila ay para rin sa ikabubuti mo na sa totoo naman ay para lamang sa kanila. Number 10, they play dumb. Sometimes people play dumb in order to get out of things. They may act as if they don't understand your requests, thus letting themselves off the hook. Other times, they may pretend to not understand as a way of shaking your confidence. People not understanding what we are trying to say can be really frustrating, which results to us to stop trying to make a point and just resort to what they believe in. This allows manipulators to get out of the situation, especially when it does agree to what they want. It also makes people feel like what they are saying doesn't make sense and that they are inferior to others. The last one, which is, they are passive-aggressive. People sometimes go the passive-aggressive route to get out of things or to get their way. When someone is expressing their opinion or their choices, manipulators may say that they agree with it, but still use a passive-aggressive behavior to subtly show that they don't agree with it. And because the actions doesn't go with their words, this makes it confusing for the other person and consequently question what she wants.
Good day, everyone. Before I start my topic, let me give you a quote by Ken Poirot. He said that true love is built on free will and free choice, not control and manipulation. Tama naman, di ba? Kung tunay kang mahal ng isang tao, hayaan kanyang gawin mo ang gusto mo at hindi kanya kokontrolin sa lahat ng bagay. Yan ang tunay na pagmamahal. Agree ba kayo doon? There are 6 signs someone is manipulating you. These are several signs to look out for that may indicate you are experiencing manipulation in your relationship. The first sign is you try to ignore your gut. The phrase "trust your gut" is particularly useful when you think you might be experiencing manipulation. The first red flag may be that gut feeling that something isn't right or that you persistently end up doing things you don't want to. You may ignore this feeling and try to convince yourself that everything is okay. For example, hindi ka mapakali at nadidismaya ka dahil laging nasa cellphone ang atensyon ng iyong partner during your dates. You bring it up to him and suddenly he get really mad at you. The conversation turns to how you seem to have ruined your special date by causing an argument. Kaya mas pinili mo na lang manahimik at isiping okay ang lahat, and in this scenario, you are trying to ignore your gut. Second one is you wonder, is it you? Maybe you were once confident in your ability to handle a situation and beginning to question your capabilities. You may even question whether you are the problem in the relationship. If you are starting to doubt yourself and your own motives, you may be on the receiving end manipulation tactic. Like for example, you try telling to your partner again how you feel about them spending so much time on their phone. Pero sinabi ng iyong partner na ginawa mo din ito at you are always trying to find the reason para magkaroon ng away sa pagitan ninyo. But after the third time you hear this argument, you is starting wondering if the problem is you dahil you're not letting go of the small things. You wonder if nag-overacting ka lang or what, kaya mas pinipili mo na lang na manahimik at i-enjoy na lang ang date nyo. Before we proceed to the third sign, tatanong ko lang sa inyo kung sino ba ang may jowa dito. Siguro relate na kayo, no? Mapapasana all na lang talaga ako. Sige na nga, doon na nga tayo sa pangatlo. The third sign is you feel guilty. A common sign that someone may be emotionally manipulating you and you've started to feel guilty or embarrassed. What's interesting about guilt is it's not natural, feeling like anger or sadness. We have to learn guilt. Psychologists say that children start feeling guilty when our value system develop. Halimbawa, your mother expect you to come to dinner on Sunday and you aren't able to make it dahil may meeting ka with your clients. She then calls and berates you for being a bad daughter and a selfish person at walang pakialam sa pamilya. Dahil doon, you feel guilty kahit may good reason ka para hindi pumunta. Ang pang-apat na sign is your sense of self is blurred. A common sign of manipulation is when you start losing a sense of who you are after following someone else or covert demands to give up your opinions and interests. Dito naman, mas pinipili mong sundin ang opinion ng iba kaysa sa sarili mong opinion at interest sa buhay. In some family relationship, they can't express with their family who they really are. For example, hindi mo kayang sabihin sa kanila ang mga life choices mo and you act differently when you are around compare mo sa mga nakakasama mong friends. In some romantic relationship naman, if you want to spend time with them, kinakailangan mong gawin din ang gusto nila without asking your permission if you want it or not. And the last sign is you begin to question your mental health. Not only can manipulation cause stress and anxiety, but it can also make you feel confused and insecure. You may begin to wonder if your reactions are symptoms of mental health. Manipulation tactics like gaslighting are most often the cause of this feeling. For example, inopen mo sa partner mo ang iyong next vacation, and then he asks you why you are not considering Cancun, which is yung pinuntahan nyo dati. Pinaalala mo sa kanya na when they visited last time, sinabi niyang he had a terrible time nung nandun kayo. And he suddenly said, I never said such a thing. Imagination mo lang yon, sabi niya sa'yo. And after all, sinabi sa'yo ng partner mo na madalas na nangyayari sa'yo to, ang pag-i-imagine na akala na ay totoo. Then you starting questioning your memory, and you will being to the point na hindi ka sure kung sinabi niya ba talaga ito o hindi. At yun na nga ang 6 signs someone is manipulating you. Alam kong makakatulong ito sa inyo para ma-identify mo kung minamanipulate ka ba ng isang tao sa isang relationship. Yun lamang at maraming salamat.
12 signs of emotional manipulation. First, they want you on their home turf. Kung minsan ang tao gusto lang napuntahan mo sila kung nasaan sila. Ang pagkakaiba nito sa isang manipulator ay hihilingin niya na puntahan mo siya sa kanyang kinaroroonan, kahit na madali o malapit lang naman siya sa iyo. Second, they use your secrets and personal experiences against you. Ang isa sa nakakalitong bagay sa isang emotional manipulator ay madalas silang mukhang nagmamalasakit at magalang. Sa una, maaari silang maging isang mabuting tagapakinig na nanghihikayat sa iyo na ikaw ay magkwento. 3. They twist your words like crazy and constantly distort and lie. Emotional manipulators lie as they breathe. They will twist your words like a giant Bavarian pretzel with extra salt. Kapag ang isang emotional manipulative individual ay hindi makaisip ng isang paraan upang baluktutin ang iyong mga salita o kasinungalingan, ay babaguhin lang nila ang paksa. 4. They don't care what's actually true, only how they can use it. Ang mga emotional manipulators ay talagang walang pakialam kung ano nga ba ang katotohanan. Inaalala lang nila kung paano nila magagamit ang mga impormasyon para kontrolin o impluwensyahan ka. 5. They hit you with all sorts of confusing and unnecessary roadblocks and red tapes. Ang mga emosyonal na manipulator ay walang pakialam kung ano ang totoo, kung maaari ka nilang samantalahin sa kahit anong paraan, but they often love to hurl red tapes and roadblocks at you, na sa tingin nila ay magiging paraan upang mapagod at sumuko ka. 6. They talk over you and for you. Emotional manipulators are like human bullhorns. Ano man ang iyong sabihin ay may iba pa rin silang masasabi na mas malakas at mas may kumpiyansa kaysa sa iyo. 7. They focus on the negative. An emotional manipulator is basically the opposite. Except for when they are playing nice or temporarily relaxing their mind games, these folks tend to be highly negative. 8. Do what I want or else. Emotional manipulators love ultimatums. They will often combine them with other tactics. 9. They mock and belittle you. Ang isa sa pinakamalaking senyales ng pagmamanipula ay kapag ang isang tao ay patuloy na nang mamaliit, nanunukso o nang bubuli at hindi sa isang magaan o nakakatawang paraan. 10. They tell you all the reasons you're not good enough. Ang isang emosyonal na pagmamanipula ay maaaring maging isang ugali para sa ilang mga tao, na ito ang kanilang dapat gawin sa tuwing hindi nila makuha ang kanilang gusto o hindi sila masaya. 11. They only stick by you when it's easy. Another of the glaring signs of emotional manipulation is the fair weather friend syndrome, or the FFS. The emotional manipulator doesn't tend to be very into sticking by you in your tough times. Gusto lang nila sa'yo kapag magaan at maayos yung iyong sitwasyon. 12. They feed on you self-doubt and low self-esteem. Minsan ay tila ang mga emotional manipulative na tao ay nag-iisang nakatuon sa paggawa ng masama sa iyo tungkol sa iyong buhay at sa iyong relasyon sa kanila. Kahit na ang iyong gawin o subukan mong ikaw ay mapabuti.
Pag pinag-usapan yung family, usually sila yung mga tao na pinupuntahan natin pag may problema tayo o pag may kailangan tayo. Sila yung mga tao na nakaalalay sa atin para mag-grow tayo spiritually, emotionally, physically, especially yung mga magulang. Sadly, not all the time at hindi sa lahat ng tao ganun yung nangyayari. Kasi yung mga emotionally immature na parents or family members ay nag-e-exist. At minsan yung mga parents mismo, sila mismo yung manipulative. Kaya ito yung 8 family manipulative tactics. Number 1, yung magulang mo ay ini-invalidate kung ano yung nararamdaman mo. Pwedeng hindi niya kanya binibigyan ng chance para mag-share, nag-i-interrupt siya kapag may gusto kang sabihin, palagi niya dinidismiss yung concerns mo, tapos nagagalit siya or pinapaalalahan ng kanya pagka nagpapakita ka ng emotions. For example, pupunta kayo sa birthday ng lola mo. Kaya lang, ayaw mong sumama kasi alam mong a-attend yung pinsan mo na physically at emotionally inabuse ka nung bata ka. Ngayon, ang sabi ng nanay mo, parang sobrang sensitive mo naman, napakatagal na panahon na yun, hindi ka pa makaget over, birthday ng lola mo, hindi ka a-attend. O, isang way yun ng pag-i-invalid ng feelings. Emotional blackmail. Ginagamit nila yung emotion mo para makuha yung gusto nila. Halimbawa, sasabihin niya, parang hindi mo naman ako nanay, ganyan ka. Parang hindi mo naman ako tatay, parang wala naman tayo pinagsamahan. Number 2, a manipulative family member or a parent can be a gaslighter or nanggagaslight siya. For example, ako, sasabihin ko, Ma, alam mo ba, tuwing kino-compare mo ko sa ibang tao, nasasaktan ako. Tapos, ang isasagot niya sa akin, magpasalamat ka nga, buti nga tinuturo ko sa'yo kung yung mga flaws mo, para natututo ka, hindi ka man lang maging grateful. Napaka-ungrateful mo. Nakita nyo? Ang pinopoint out niya ay yung aking pagiging ungrateful, yung character ko, instead na yung mismong problema. Number 3, yung mga manipulative na family member or parents ay ginagamit ang guilt tripping para makuha yung gusto nila. Withholding affection. Ito naman yung taktika na ginagamit ng family member or ng parent sa kanilang mga anak para makuha yung gusto nila in a way na hindi nila bibigyan ng love yung anak nila kung hindi susunod sa kanila. Parang hindi sila nagpapakita ng affection. Parang pinaparamdam nila na hindi nila mahal yung anak nila kapag hindi sumunod. For example, kahit sa malilit na bagay, ay hindi na kita love kasi ayaw mong sumunod sa akin. So, it shows conditional love. Victimhood. Yung mga family member naman na ganito ay nagpe-play victim sila para ma-manipulate nila yung family nila. For example, nag-divorce yung mga magulang ng isang bata. Tapos yung nanay, ang sasabihin niya palagi sa anak niya, yung side niya na siya yung sinasaktan, siya yung iniwan, siya yung hirap na hirap. Lahat ng pagpapahirap nasa kanya. Pero pure exaggeration lang naman. Aggression or personal attacks. Kumbaga, inaatake niya na yung personality mo para lang magawa nila yung gusto nila or mapasunod ka nila. For example, gusto mo mag-take ng fine arts pero ayaw nila yon para sa'yo. Pwede nilang sabihin na, di ka naman magaling mag-drawing, pinipilit mo lang yung sarili mo dyan, tapos magpa-fine arts ka. Shifting the goalpost. Ito naman yung taktika na ginagamit nila, maybe consciously or unconsciously, para mapasunod ka in a way na nagseset sila ng sobrang mataas na standard sa'yo. For example, standard sa grade, kapag hindi ka nakakuha ng mataas na grade, or 90 lang, bakit hindi ka nag-92? Bakit hindi ka nag-95? Top 2 lang, bakit hindi ka top 1? Ito yung isang manipulation technique na yun. Thank you for that thought-provoking informations, Hannah, Kim, Jonalyn, and Alicia. Ngayon naman, pag-aralan natin, ano nga ba ang cause of manipulative behaviors? Ihahatid yan ni Daniel, Lexi, Alexa, at Rhea.
Manipulate or na-manipula. Gusto nyo bang malaman? You should go and you should use a checklist. Pwede nyo naman siyang gawa ng checklist kung nagawa nyo siya or hindi. Para mag-enjoy kayo sa topic natin. So, mag-umpisa na tayo. So, number 1, you go great lengths to go to your way. Isa lang ang ibig sabihin yan, na gagawin natin ang lahat, makuha lang natin ang isang bagay kahit hindi naman dapat. For example, guys, na-in love na ba kayo? Or something? Kung oo, malamang nagawa nyo na to. Na merong isang guy na gusto ka or girl at gagawin mo lahat para makuha siya. Kahit na makatapa ka pa ng iba, na gumamit ka pa ng ibang tao, gagawin mo para lang makuha mo siya. So, number 2, you are having a hard time directly telling your needs. Ito lang yan madali lang siya. Kahit na may paraan kang alam, for example, you are a mother. Tapos, gusto mo ng night out na mismo yung pagkadalaga mo, hindi naman din ibig sabihin na hindi mo mahal yung anak mo. Natural lang naman natin na mamiss yung pagkadalaga kung tayo na yung mga nanay. And then, hindi mo sasabihin na gusto mo talagang lumabas or gusto mong magpahinga. Like, some day off. Ang gagawin mo is, parang manggigil trip ka na, ay, sayang naman, ganto-ganto, gusto ko pa namang lumabas eh. 'Di ba? Nare-realize niyo 'yun? Guys, pati tayo ginagawa natin 'yun eh, para magkaroon ng sympathy yung tao sa atin. Number 3, you project onto others. Ito simple lang siya. Pwede mo siyang matawag na stereotyping. For example, ako may trust issue ako. So, lahat ng tao feeling ko lolokohin nila ako, lahat sila sasaktan nila ako, o relate ka, no? Ganun talaga. Alam naman natin na tayong lahat, or iba sa atin, guys, na naranasan yun na magkaroon tayo ng trust issues, lalo na ngayon, madami nagkalat na manluloko. Guys, parang, ang labas nito is, lahat sila ini-stereotype mo, and then nilalahat mo sila, ang ending, ginagawa nila yun dahil namamanipulate mo sila. Parang, ay, total, ganito naman yung tingin niya sa akin. Ganito na lang gagawin ko sa kanya. Number 4, ang pinaka-obvious is, you lie. Diba? Talagang siguro tayo, sa tingin ko naman na lahat tayo nagsinungaling na. Even white lies, or talagang yung biggest lie. Yun, isa pa rin yun sa tinatawag na manipulation. Di ba pag nag-white lies ka, is mapagtatakpan mo yung mga nangyari. Dahil nga white lies, di ba? Sinabing white. Pero pagkasinungaling pa rin yun. So, pang number 5, you make people guilty. Halata naman, di ba? Uso ngayon yung mga sad boy, sad girl, na sasabihin nila, sino ba naman ako? Ito lang naman ako eh. Yung mga guilt tripping na manipulator. Halata naman, guys. So, for example naman doon is, nagkaroon ako ng boyfriend, and gusto ko na makipaghiwalay. Sasabihin niya, sorry, ito lang ako, ito lang kasi yung kaya kong ibigay sa'yo, ganyan. Imbes na patunayan niya yung sarili niya, i-guilt trip ka niya para maawa ka at bumalik sa kanya. Diba? As simple as that na manipulate ka na. Alamin natin kung naranasan mo at pwede mong i-comment sa baba. 6, you don't keep promises. Ito, sobrang halata nito na mamamanipulate ka talaga sa lagay na to, or nagawa mo na din siya. For example, ako, or ikaw, gawin natin example, ikaw na nanonood sa akin. Ikaw, meron kang friend. Sa kagustuhan mo na wag siyang umalis sa'yo, magpa-promise ka na magpa-promise ng mga bagay-bagay para hindi na siya umalis. Diba na manipulate mo yung tao na to stay kahit na binabalot mo siya sa lie. Nagdudugtong kasi yung mga manipulation na to na gagawin mo lahat, magsisinungaling ka sa mga promise mo at hindi mo siya gagawin. Ang ending, magsistay siya sa'yo tapos magbe-benefit ka. Pero siya, nagsistay sa kasinungalingan mo. Number 7, you do nice things, pero with expectations. Diba ang pangit naman yun? Sabi nga nila, give and take. Pero hindi naman ibig sabihin na nag-give ka is makaka-take ka agad. May mga tao na hindi din sila nakaka-realize. Pero ito nagli-lead siya sa manipulation dahil gusto mo rin maka-benefit. For example, ako gusto ko na bigyan niya ako ng gift. So, bibigyan ko siya ng gift para ma-realize niya na dapat din niya akong bigyan. Ganun din. Ako, nagbe-benefit siya. Parang minamanipulate ko siya for my own good. Ganun lang siya. Number 8, you punish people when you don't get your way. Ito simple lang siya na kapag hindi mo nagawa yung gusto mo, parang ipapunish mo sila. Hindi naman ibig sabihin na punish is paparusahan mo sila, napapatayin mo sila, sasaktan mo sila. No. Ang example dito, ang very, very example is mag-Instagram story ka. Hindi lang siya yung mamamanipulate mo, yung kaaway mo, pero din yung mga taong nakakabasa. So, what if nag-post ako na, ba't ganyan yung ugali ni ganito? And then, after that, may mga magko-comment. Alam naman natin na isa ako sa mga, curious sa mga nababasa ko sa social media. Pinapaikutan tayo at pinalilibutan tayo ng social media. So, maku-curious ka sa mga mababasa mo. Meron pa ang instance na mas gusto mo pang basahin ng chismis kaysa sa mga textbooks mo. Di ba? Ako, aminado ako dyan. Kahit abutin ako ng 3 a.m., babasahin ko yung mga chismis na yan. Kaya, mamamanipulate mo sila through posting. Kasi, maaawa sila sa'yo, hindi naman nila alam yung buong kwento. Pero ikaw, naglabas ka sa Instagram, imbes na kausapin mo yung kaaway mo. Number 9, last but not the least is, you are overly persuasive. Obvious naman, guys, na kaya natin bilang tao na manghikayat. In a good way sana, pero yung magsasabi ka na ng kung ano-ano kahit hindi na totoo para lang makumbinsi mo yung tao. For example, ako nagbebenta ako ng pabango. Sasabihin ko na nakakabango siya talaga, na hindi siya natatanggal within 24 hours. Pwede kong sabihin yun para mahikayat.
Other people lie with their lips, other half lie with their tears. By Nassim Nicholas Taleb. Sa binigay na quote ni Nassim Nicholas Taleb ay, masasabi natin na mayroong manipulation na nagaganap. Ang unang-unang pumapasok sa ating isipan kapag naririnig natin ang salitang manipulation ay, bakit nga ba may mga taong namamanipula? Take note guys, not all manipulation has a malicious intent, even when it causes an immense harm. Isa na dito ang reason na Poor communication skill. Some people may be uncomfortable with direct communication. Others may have grown up in a houses where manipulative communication is the norm. A desire to avoid connection. Some people treat others as means to an end and use manipulation to control them. Fear. People may engage in manipulation out of fear, especially yung takot ng abandonment. Usually, nangyayari to after breakups or relationship fights. Defensiveness. Manipulation can be a way of avoiding blame. Some people avoid blame to control or abuse another person. Ito yung mga tao, ginagawa nila to kasi takot sila sa judgment ng tao, mababa yung self-esteem nila, and ito talaga yung mga tao na nagsistruggle sila to face their own shortcomings. Social norms. Some forms of manipulation are normals, perhaps even beneficial. For example, most people learn that it is important to be friendly or cheerful around your work colleagues in order to professionally advance. Marketing, advertising, or other financial or political incentives. Entire industry are dedicated to manipulating people's emotion to change their mind, convince them to buy a product, or urge them to vote a certain way. Ito na sinasabi nila na people who are trying to manipulate others are trying to control others. But para ma-overcome yon, they just need the right guidance for them to overcome the negative trait na buo nila sa kanilang buhay.
What goes on in the mind of a manipulator? Psychological reason behind the manipulation. There is top psychologist, marriage counselor, and founder of Saharti Counseling Services, Shivanim Shiri Sadhu, tell us the reason behind the manipulation. They are as follows. Narcissistic mentality. Manipulators usually suffer from a narcissistic personality disorder, which is mental disorder in which people have an inflated sense of their own importance and a deep need for admiration. They consider themselves better than others. They are not concerned about how others feel. Individuals with narcissistic personality. Narcissistic mentality, ito yung mga manipulator na madalas dumaranas ng personality disorder or mental disorder. Itinuturing nila ang kanilang sarili na mas mahusay kaysa sa iba. Wala silang pakialam sa nararamdaman ng iba. It's in their family. Sometimes manipulators have a difficult childhood wherein they are deprived a love of affection, status, and privilege from their family members. Sometimes they are struggle for economic and social survival. This is what turns them into manipulator. Ito namang manipulator ay may mas mahirap na pagkabata kung saan sila ay pinagkaitan ng pagmamahal, katayuan at pribilehiyo mula sa mga miyembro ng kanilang pamilya. Ang naman ito ay trabaho na ng magulang niya na magmanipula ng tao, balikaran rin yung kalalaki niya dahil ang mga bata kung ano ang nakikita nila yun yung ginagawa or ginagaya nila. Sa pamilya nagmula kung paano siya lumaki or sa pamilya niya natutunan yung ganong bagay na naging dala niya sa paglaki. Genes, manipulative behavior can be hereditary too. Genes naman, ito yung mga namamana or nakukuha natin sa mga magulang natin. Borderline personality disorder might help manipulator to satisfy their emotional needs or for obtaining validation. This happens because such as manipulators feel insecure or abandoned. Example naman nito ay pwedeng dahil sa emotion niya, pwedeng dahil sa inggit or kaya sa kahirapan, kaya sobrang inggit niya. Parang gusto nilang makuha yung mga bagay na wala sila. Maaaring makatulong ang BPD sa mga manipulator na matugunan ang kanilang mga emosyonal na pangangailangan o makakuha ng validation na nangyayari. Give me power. Manipulators love the feeling of being powerful. They love to control people and situations. They want to be king and in charge of everything. Ito naman yung gusto ng mga manipulator ang pakiramdam ng pagiging makapangyarihan. Gustong-gusto nilang kontrolin ang mga tao at sitwasyon. Gusto nilang maging hari at mamamahala sa lahat. Lack of conscientiousness. This is other reason for being manipulative. They believe that the only way to achieve their goal in this unsafe world is by manipulation. Last but not the least, whatever the psychology behind manipulation is, manipulators can change for the better. They just need the right guidance for that to overcome the negative trait which is become a part of their life. Mga manipulator ay maaaring magbago para sa mahuhusay. Kailangan lang nila ng tamang patnubay para ma-overcome ang negatibong katangian na nagiging bahagi ng kanilang buhay. Example naman nito, nagmamanipulate sila kasi alam nila na tama ang ginagawa nila or okay lang sa kanila. Bali, part na rin ito na kung paano sila lumaki. Sa ganoon, kailangan nila ng tamang guidance para matigil kung ano ang ginagawa nila o yung nakasanayan nila. Kasi para sa kanila, yun yung tama.
Stages of manipulation and coercion. Under these stages, the manipulation and coercion leading to exploitation are explained as follows. The first stage is the targeting stage. At this stage, the abuser will find his victim. Each abuser or offender may look for young people who may be vulnerable. Yung abuser, maghahanap siya ng target niya na yung panlabas na anyo ay madaling basahin. Example na lang nito ay yung mga taong bata, mga taong malulungkot, or yung may mga sexually reactive behaviors, or yung mga mahilig uminom ng alak, or yung gumagamit ng drugs. The alleged abuser or offender may watch and target the young person. So, yung mga bata, sila yung mga taong madaling basahin, yung panlabas na anyo. Kaya, sila madalas yung mga natatarget ng mga taong mga abusive. The alleged abuser or offender may try to understand the young person and identify their interest. The alleged abuser or offender may become friends with the young person and show care for them by giving gifts or compliments. So, dahil nga gusto mapalapit nung offender doon sa victim niya, makikipagkaibigan siya dito at papakita niya dito yung care niya at syempre bibigyan niya rin ng mga regalo at i-compliment niya yung mga ginagawa ng tao na bibiktimahin niya. The alleged abuser or offender may gain the young person's trust. Makukuha nung offender yung trust nung victim niya doon nga sa pagbibigay niya ng mga regalo or sa pagpapakita niya ng pakialam dito. Dito na rin nag-uumpisang mamuo ang pagtitiwala sa kanya ng kanyang bibiktimahin. Abuser or offender may share the young person's information with other abusive adults. The second stage is the friendship-forming stage. Yung offender at yung victim niya ay mas magiging close na sa isa't isa sa stage na to. The alleged abuser or offender may put a great deal of effort into becoming someone the young person can trust and rely on. Dahil nga kinukuha nung abuser yung loob ng victim niya, ipapakita niya dito na siya yung tipo ng tao na kaya mong pagkatiwalaan at masasandalan mo pag may problema ka. The alleged abuser or offender may make the young person feel special. Dahil nga yung offender na to ay kinukuha ang loob ng kanyang victim, paparamdam niya dito na special siya sa pagbibigay ng mga compliments at mga regalo. At syempre, upang makuha na rin yung loob ng tao na ito. The alleged abuser or offender may be skilled at understanding the young person in a way others do not. Kaya niyang ipakita sa victim niya na naiintindihan niya ito, iba sa pagkakaintindi ng ibang tao sa kanya. Halimbawa, may problema yung victim niya na isinare niya doon sa may abuser. Ngayon, yung pagkakaintindi ng ibang tao sa problema niya ay mali, pero ang pagkakaintindi naman ng abuser sa problemang shinare niya ay tama. The alleged abuser or offender may give them gifts and rewards. Dahil nga sa kagustuhan ng offender na mag-gain yung trust ng victim niya, ibibigay niya lahat ng hinihiling nito upang mapasaya lang at maipakita na maganda nga ang motibo niya dito. The alleged abuser or offender may listen to and value the young person. Makikinig siya sa mga problema ng kanyang biktima at pahalagahan na rin niya yung victim niya. The alleged abuser or offender may ask the young person to keep secrets about what they are doing together. So, ire-request nung abuser sa victim niya na secret lang nilang dalawa yung pagkakaibigan nila at syempre yung mga pagbibigay na rin niya ng mga regalo nang upang walang makaalam na ginagawa nilang dalawa. The alleged abuser or offender may support the young person and be their best friend. Yung offender, maaari niyang isupport yung victim niya sa lahat ng bagay. Papakita niya yung simpatsya na to na ako yung tipo ng kaibigan na lagi mong maaasahan. At syempre, dahil nga sa pagtagal ng panahon, magiging mas malalim ang pagkakaibigan nila, nauuwi sa pagiging mag-best friend. The alleged abuser or offender may test out physical contact by accidentally touching them. Example na lang nito ay yung pagdidikit ng kanilang mga kamay or yung pasimpleng paakbay ba. The alleged abuser or offender may offer the young person protection from bullying by their fears or abusive adults. Sa situation na ito, makikilala na ng mga kapwa abusers yung taong biktima niya. Pag-aalok dito ng proteksyon, doon nga sa mga bumubuli sa kanya. The third stage is the loving relationship stage. Yung stage na to, dito na magkakamabutihan yung victim at yung abuser. Kaya magkakaroon na sila ng relationship sa isa't isa. Hindi na lang friends, kundi lovers na. Once they have established trust, the alleged abuser or offender may become the young person's boyfriend or girlfriend. The alleged abuser or offender may isolate the young person from their friends and family so that they feel dependent on them and their network for friendship and social connection. Mas lalo siyang maging bad influence doon sa victim niya at mas lalo niyang ma-brainwash ito. The alleged abuser or offender may establish a sexual relationship. Dito na nga makukuha nung offender yung totoong pakay niya doon sa may biktima niya. Yung sexual relationship na, ay naman talaga yung pinaka-motibo kung bakit niya nilapitan ito, unat sapul pa lamang. The alleged abuser or offender may lower the young person's inhibitions. Ang example dito ay yung offender ay magpapakita siya ng pornography doon sa taong biktima niya. The alleged abuser or offender may engage the young person in illegal activities. Dahil nga yung biktima niya ay wala ng pamilya or kaibigan na gumagabay sa kanya, mapipilitan na siyang makinig dito sa abuser na to na gumawa ng mga illegal na bagay tulad ng pag-inom ng alak or paggamit ng pinagbabawal na gamot. The alleged abuser or offender may be inconsistent in their affection. Offender, nagiging inconsistent na siya sa affection nilang dalawa dahil nga nakuha niya na yung gusto niya at ala na siyang kailangan doon sa may victim kaya hindi na siya naglalambing or nagpapakita ng pagmamahal dito sa taong ito. The alleged abuser or offender may ask the young person to keep secrets about what they are doing together. So, i-request nga nung offender doon sa victima niya na ilihim lahat ng mga pinagagawa nila, kasama na dito yung pag-inom ng alak, mga pagdadrugs, or yung mga sexual activities na ginagawa nilang dalawa. The alleged abuser or offender may the young people who critically value the social connection and acceptance, the threat of rejection by the alleged abuser or offender, and further social isolation can be a powerful tool to ensure their compliance. The last stage is the abusive relationship stage. Sa stage na to, ipapakita na nung abuser yung totoong kulay niya at yung totoong balak niya sa babae na sakta nito, the alleged abuser or offender may withdraw friendship and love. The alleged abuser or offender may demand sex. Naunat sa pool naman, ito naman talaga yung pinakamotibo niya doon sa biktima niya. The alleged abuser or offender may be trafficking the young person for sex. So dito na nga, pipilitin niya yung biktima niya na makipag-sex sa kanya kahit ayaw naman na nung tao na yun sa kanya. The alleged abuser or offender may reinforce dependency by lowering the young person's self-esteem, verbally abusing, or degrading them. Ilang sa physical na bagay masasaktan nung abuser yung victim niya, kundi rin sa mga masasakit na salita at sa pang-degrade niya sa tao na yun. The alleged abuser or offender may isolate the young person from friends and family. Yung abuser, maaari niyang ilayo yung biktima niya sa pamilya niya or sa mga kaibigan nang upang sa gayon, siya na lang yung maging impluwensya dun sa tao at kung ano-ano na ang ituro niya dito. The alleged abuser or offender may trick the young person into remaining in the relationship by claiming they owe them money or making other threats. So yung offender, yung victim, ayaw niya na sa relasyon nila nung offender. Ngayon, yung offender, tinetreat niya yung babae para lang hindi sila mag-break. Sasabihan niya ito na may utang ka sa akin na pera or tinetreat niya siguro ito ng example lang na ilalabas niya yung mga picture, kunyari, or papatayin niya yung tao na to if makikipaghiwalay siya sa kanya.
Ganda naman ito. Namamansin kaya to?
Ay, thanks.
Ate ganda, baka magalit boyfriend mo ha.
Wala akong boyfriend. Study first.
Ganyan naman kayo eh. Pag pangit, study first. Pag gwapo, anakan mo po.
Ha? Sadboi yarn?
Sige, tawanan mo lang ako. Sorry, ganito lang ako ha. Ang taas kasi masyado ng standards mo.
Say the line, Sadboi.
Sana di na lang ako binuhay eh. Puro gwapo lang gusto niyo mga babae.
Oops, huwag papayag maging biktima ng mga taong makuha lang ang gusto ay susubukang magmanipula.
Thank you for that, Daniel, Lexi, Alexis, and Rhea. Ngayon, alam na natin kung ano nga ba ang mga dahilan kung bakit nagiging manipulative ang isang tao. Ngayon naman, alamin natin kung paano ba natin sila pakikisamahan. Paano ba tayo makikipag-deal sa kanila? Ihahatid dyan nila, Jancel, Grace, at Jill.
Ways how to deal with manipulative person. Una, ang pagsiset ng boundaries. Ang pagsiset ng boundaries ay isang limitasyon sa mga gagawin at hindi mo gagawin. For example, sa isang relasyon, pwede mong sabihin na ganito, gusto ko ng pagiging totoo sa relasyon natin. Kung magsisinungaling ka, hindi kita papansinin 3 taon, ganon. Kapag maglalagay ka ng boundaries kahit kanino, pwede ka nilang pag-isipan na masyado kang mahigpit o pinapunish mo sila. Pero lagi mong tatandaan na kaya ka naglalagay ng boundaries dahil gusto mo lang pangalagaan yung sarili mo in any aspects at lalong-lalo na yung mental health mo. Binibigyan ka nila ng opportunity to decide kung anong behavior yung tatanggapin mo bago ka masaktan potentially. Yung iba, re-respect nila yung sinet mong boundaries, tas kakausapin ka pa rin nila. Siyempre, kung magsaset ka ng boundaries sa iba for your own protection, you should set your own boundaries. Makatulong yon para limitahan yung involvement mo with manipulative person. Gaya ng pag-alis na lang kung nararamdaman mong minamanipulate ka na. Or face din if may kasama ka, if ever man, na may mangyari sa'yo ng hindi maganda. Safety first. May tutulong sa if ever man na magkaganon. Boundaries can also help you to curb how much you offer someone emotionally. This might mean you avoid sharing details about your personal life with that person. Pangalawa, avoid isolating yourself. Di ba hindi naman ganun kadali makipag-usap tungkol sa manipulation or other abuse? Kadalas makakatulong yung pagbabahagi mo ng karanasan mo with someone you trust or yung taong gusto makinig sa'yo, kagaya ng kapamilya, relatives, kaibigan, or kung may close ka man teacher, or yung jowa mo. Napakalaking relief nun kapag merong taong gustong makinig sa'yo, or may taong nakakaintindi sa'yo at sumusuporta sa bawat gawin o desisyon na gawin mo. Halimbawa, ang pag-iwas sa ibang family members ay talagang napakahirap dahil nakatira kayo sa isang bubong and wala ka naman talagang magagawa kung hindi kausapin talaga sila or hindi may iwasan na hindi ka magkakaroon ng interaction sa kanila. Sa halip, pwede kang mag-seek ng attention and connection sa mga taong tinuturing na seryoso yung sitwasyon mo. Don't isolate yourself. Laging merong taong gusto makinig sa'yo dahil maaaring maapektuhan nito yung self-esteem mo and maapektuhan yung kakayahan mo na ma-develop ang healthy relationship with others. Pangatlo, consult a family counselor or any therapist na may kaalaman sa pagkakaroon ng magandang relationship within the family na makakatulong na ma-address ang problematic behaviors and maiwasan ng mga pangmatagalang epekto nito sa isang tao. Sila ay makakatulong na malaman kung manipulate ka na by offering ng guidance sa pagsaset ng healthy boundaries that explores positive communication teaching skills para mag-cope ang distressing feelings na makakatulong na maging comfortable ka sa sarili mo. Pang-apat, be aware and open-minded. Ask yourself kung ito pa talagang tao na ito ay gusto makisabay sa trip mo sa buhay or they are making you to act the way they want. Lagi mo tatandaan na mayroong pagkakaiba ang exhortation or strong encouragement at manipulation. Ang exhortation ay kapag nagsabi ng totoo ang isang tao para sa benefit mo at hayaan kanila magdesisyon kung anong gusto mo. They accept and respect your final decision kahit na hindi sila sang-ayon sa iyo because they want you to be happy and feel comfortable sa kung anong desisyon ang tatahakin mo. Ang manipulation naman ay pagsasabi ng bagay na pwedeng totoo pero napakalaking benefit yun para sa kanila. Ang pinakakahulugan nito ay hindi kanila hahayaan na gumawa ng sarili mong desisyon at hindi nila tatanggapin o re-respeto yung desisyon mong ginawa. Ipipressure kanila hanggang magawa mo yung gusto nila. That's manipulation.
Dealing with manipulation is all about reading between the lines and recognizing the lies for what they are. When you feel uncertain about how to handle the situation, you might avoid responding at all. This may help you avoid conflict. Talk about your interaction. Diretsahin mo sila, especially kapag yung person na yon is nakakausap mo regularly, kasama mo sa school, sa bahay, or sa work. It might be beneficial to talk about their uncomfy behavior. Halimbawa, kapag sinabi nila na, okay lang naman ako, iwan mo na ako, hindi mo ako deserve, you deserve better. Siyempre, magigilty ka doon at parang mafe-feel mo na kinokontrol nila yung feelings mo. So, make it clear na you don't like them treating you that way. Isa pang halimbawa is, yung person na yon ay gusto nilang kontrolin yung ginagawa mo. that person is trying to manipulate you to do something their way. So you can say na, I don't like it when you talk to me that way. I'm capable of making my own decision. Next is ignore guilt trips. Alamin mo or kilalanin mo if yung person na yun is pinapag-guilty ka talaga to control you or to get you to do something you don't want to do. Pag sinabi nilang, wala ka naman sa tabi ko nung kailangan kita, try putting their statements back onto them for self-reflection. So, in a place of being guilty and asking yourself na wala ka bang kwentang kaibigan, instead you can say na, hindi totoo yan. It makes me feel na hindi mo pala ako na-appreciate pag tinutulungan kita. Point out their manipulation by showing that their statements are false. Point out their inequality. Some manipulative people is masyado silang nag-aas ng too much or nagdedemand sa iba ng sobra and give little things in return. So, kung may kakilala ka na ganito, start by turning things around. Hindi naman pwede na porket alam nilang lagi kang pumapayag or lagi kang nag-yes sa kanila, is nagiging abusado na sila by using manipulative behavior. So, tanungin mo sila kung fair pa ba yung nire-request nila or if they would do something like that for someone else. For example, does this seem reasonable to you or are you asking me or telling me? And the last, set firm limits. Ayan, set firm limits. Be clear with your limit for that person. Yung mga manipulative person is may try to push your boundaries to get what they want. Don't give way after you say no or when you agree or disagree to something. Pwede kang mag-set kung kailan ka lang mag-i-stick sa person na yon, and don't give explanation or defense your decision. There is no need to justify your wants. For example, say, I'm willing to help you for 1 hour but I can't help you for more than that. Reminder lang po, ang pag-iwas sa mga manipulative people ay hindi naman ibig sabihin ay dinidiscriminate na natin sila or minamaliit natin yung feelings nila. And yes, valid pa din ang nararamdaman nila. It's just that bakit nga ba natin kailangan iwasan to or i-correct sila in a good way to stop being manipulative and start with the positive behavior. Kasi nakakasira talaga to sa mental health natin because people who manipulate others attack their mental and emotional sides to get what they want. They seek to create an imbalance of power and take advantage of a victim to get control, power, and benefits at the expense of the victim. They make you question your reality.
Stay calm o manatiling kalmado. Maaaring subukan ng isang manipulator na mapasagot ka ng isang emosyonal sa halip na maging isang makatwiran. Kapag nakikipag-usap sa isang manipulator, manatiling kalmado at kontrolin mo yung sarili mo. Sa kahit kanino to huwag kang padalos-dalos sa sandaling ito o baka samantalahin niya yung pagiging mabait mo. Huminga ka muna ng malalim para maging kalmado at mapag-isipan mo yung mga desisyon mo na isasagot mo sa taong kausap mo. Example, kung sa tingin mo ay nagmamadali kang sumagot sa tao, yung response mo parang kailangan mo na agad sabihin, tandaan mo na hindi mo kailangan agad sumagot. Maglaan ka muna ng ilang oras o sandali para pag-isipan mo mabuti yung mapagdidesisyonan mo kung tama ba yun at gusto mo ba yun. So, palagi kang may option na lumayo sa sitwasyon na hindi ka komportable. Maaari mo rin subukan yung grounding techniques upang matulungan kang manatiling makatwiran habang emosyonal. Ano ba yung grounding techniques na yun? Halimbawa, pumili ka ng isang kulay at hanapin mo yun sa iyong silid. O tumutok ka sa kung anong nararamdaman mo or sa iyong katawan, tulad ng panginginig or sign na nape-pressure ka sa isang bagay. Sa pamamagitan nun, madedetermine mo kahit papano sa sarili mo na, ay, kailangan ko munang mag-isip ng mga sasabihin ko dito or isasagot ko kasi baka minamantipula lang ako nito. So next is, say no firmly. May karapatan kang tumanggi at hindi makonsensya. May mga karapatan ka rin na huwag mo munang unahin yung iba at unahin mo muna yung prioridad mo, yung sarili mo. Siguraduhin din na alam ng tao na kapag sinabi mong hindi, dapat hindi na magbabago yun. Halimbawa, may sinabi siya or nag-ask siya tapos alam mo sa sarili mo na hindi ka comfortable or ayaw mo nun. So sabihin mo, hindi ako available sa iyo sa araw na yon or hindi ako handang tumugon dyan. Kung pipilitin ka man nila, sabihin mo, nasabi ko na sa iyo ang desisyon ko at hindi ko ito babaguhin. Please, tigilan mo na ang pagtatanong. Kasi di ba marami sa atin yung naka-experience na ng ganun. Yung ipapapil pa nila sa'yo na mag-guilty ka kasi tumanggi ka or parang galit pa sila. Kaya ito, tandaan mo, learn to say no kung ayaw mo at alam ko naman na alam mo yung mga bagay na mali. So So, pangatlo is assert yourself and be heard. Siguraduhin makakapagsabi ka sa kung ano yung nangyayari at ibigay mo din naman yung opinion mo. Kung kailangan mong sabihin ang isang bagay, huwag mo silang hayaan na pigilan ka kasi freedom mo naman yun. Meron ka dapat option na tumanggi o magbigay ng opinion at dapat igalang pa rin nila kung ano yung desisyon mo kung ayaw mo. Halimbawa, kung sinusubukan nilang mapapayag ka sa kanila, sabihin mo, kung ayaw mo ng bagay na yun, sabihin mo, hindi ako payag. Gusto kong itigil mo na ang pagtatanong sa akin ngayon. Kasi, hindi pwede na laging oo lang yung sagot. Kasi, kung offensive na ba sa'yo yun o alam mo na man na hindi tama yun, so bakit ka sasang-ayon, di ba? So, speak yourself. So, ito talaga yung part na dapat mong alalahanin palagi. Ito yung practice self-care. So, ang pakikitungo sa isang manipulator minsan nakakapagod sa mga tao na minamanipula ka. Kaya siguraduhin mong inalagaan mo din yung sarili mo. Kung nakakaramdam ka ng pagkabalisa pagkatapos ng pag-uusap nyo ng tao na yun, o pakaramdam mo ay naubusan ka ng sasabihin or palagi na lang siya yung nasusunod at lagi na lang na yung ikabubuti mo dun. Teka muna, maglaan ka muna ng ilang oras upang bigyan ng iyong sarili. Huminga ka muna ng malalim para gumaan naman yung pakiramdam mo. Kung nakakaramdam ka ng stress, magmuni-muni ka muna. Maglaan ng ilang oras para sa sarili mo or gawin mo yung mga gusto mo para hindi puro negatibong damdamin yung dumarating sa'yo. Makipag-usap ka sa mga friends mo tungkol sa sitwasyon kasi kahit minsan wala naman silang naitutulong, may natutulong din sila kasi napagsasabihan mo sila at napaglalabasan mo sila ng sama ng loob. So, tao ka din naman na napapagod, dapat inaalala mo lagi yung sarili mo kaysa sa ibang tao, the way na hindi ka naman makakasakit sa iba.
Thank you for those wonderful insights and information, Johnson, Grace, and Jill. Pero, paano nga bang gagawin natin kung tayo mismo ang manipulative person or may tendency na maging manipulative? Ways to overcome self-pity and tendencies of being manipulative? Ihahatid dyan ni Angela at ni Jonathan.
Now we were going to talk about some ways to overcome self-pity and tendencies of being a manipulator. Changes start within ourselves. That's why, first, you need to work on your self-esteem. Self-pity starts when you start to feel insecure about the things that you don't have, when you compare yourself to other people. That's why instead of looking onto your flaws and imperfections, you need to practice self-love. Self-love means prioritizing yourself, your happiness, and taking care of your own needs. Do not sacrifice your own well-being just to please other people. Do all the things that would make you happy. Do all the things that you think you deserve. Get a new haircut, buy new clothes, new hair color, work out, learn new skills, and do all the things that would make you feel satisfied. And also, be compassionate to yourself. When something doesn't go the way you want it to, instead of suffering in silence, let your emotions out. Huwag kang maghalim ng sama ng loob, kapatid, dahil baka maging cartoon na yan. All of your emotions are valid, kaya hindi masama magpakita ng iyong nararamdaman. Hindi ito sign ng pagiging mahina. That's why you need to embrace courage after mong makaranas ng iba't ibang pagsubok at pighati. Move on. Take your failures as your motivation. Sabi nga ni Mas Catriona, always see the silver lining. Always see the good in every situation. Diba? Para hindi masakit. Hindi naiipon. At may iwasan ng pagsiself-pity. And letter B became aware of your pain and self-pity. No one can make you feel anything. Only you control the way you feel. Kaya naman pag ginawa mong hobby ang pagiging malungkot at hinayaan mo ang sarili mong ma-stuck sa isang situation na malungkot ka lang, ikaw ang mahihirapan. Feeling sorry for yourself does not only create pain for you, but it also creates pain for other people. That's why, refuse to be a victim. The drama cycle initially feels good. It is really good to know that someone cares for us, someone tries to save us, pero hindi dahil masarap sa pakiramdam ay aaraw-arawin mo na. Hindi naman gusto natin na palagi tayong kinakaawaan, palagi tayong biktima. That's why stop blaming others for the way you feel. Because once again, you are responsible on your own emotions. So cut the cycle. Hindi yan healthy. And let's move on to letter C. Look ways to help others. One of the quickest ways to lift up yourself out of self-pity is to find ways on how to lift up others. Because once you feel capable of helping other people, you will appreciate all the things that you have. And also look for inspiration. Be vigilant on the stories of other people. This might motivate you and inspire you. Okay? And also look for facts. When you feel discouraged of some situation, ask yourself, what is reality? Because when we look into reality, we will notice that sometimes we overgeneralize and we overdramatize some situations. Masyado tayong nakapokus sa sarili natin kaya hindi natin napapansin na ang mga tao ay may kanya-kanyang pinagdadaanan na burden, struggles, and problems. That's why Kaya ang gamitin din natin ang ating isip, huwag puro puso. Hindi naman ako galit, kaya punta na tayo sa letter D. Listen and watch your mouth. When someone is telling you on how you make them feel, pay attention and focus because this may help you to assess yourself. Baka kasi minsan hindi natin alam. Isa na pala tayo sa sad boy o sad girl na ang hilig ay mag-manipulate. Huwag natin masamain ang criticism ng ibang tao dahil pag marunong tayong tumanggap ng pagkakamali natin, hindi na natin yun uulitin sa susunod. That's where the development of your behavior will start. So letter D, acknowledge good in your life. Focus on the good things that happens to you. Appreciate the things that you have. Learn the attitude of gratitude. Huwag kang puro sana all dahil meron ka din naman nung wala sila at meron sila nung wala ka. And don't be a perfectionist. Learn to go with the flow. Because not everything is under your control. At ang buhay ay hindi isang fairy tale na ang lahat ay nagkakaroon agad ng happy ending. Hindi pwedeng puro saya. Dapat may pighatidan, di ba? Para may thrill yung life. And then also, let go in the illusion of fear. Dapat natanggap natin na sa mundong ito, hindi talaga patas. Dahil lahat ng tao, iba-iba yung level ng pinagdadaanan. Kaya huwag mo i-compare yung meron ka sa ibang tao. And also, choose greed over self-pity. Instead of expecting and wishing something to happen, work for it. Work for it with effort to avoid disappointment. Kaya, kung minamanifest mo na magkatulong kayo ng crush mo, tigilan mo na yan, mag-first move ka na. So kidding aside, last but not the least is try to ease your anxiety. Find something that would interest you. Make yourself busy but not exhausted. Try to do workout, exercise, or ang pinakadabis ay ang pagpunta sa therapy dahil yung mga gawain na yun ay nakakatulong para sa'yo na mag-produce ng serotonin which is help you to have a good mood and turn your attention on improving yourself instead of pitying yourself. Find something that would make you happy, that would make you feel fun. Don't be afraid to live out of your comfort zone. So in overall, it is just a matter of mindset. Respect others, acknowledge each other's boundary, and always be rational. Control your emotion as your servant and not your master. That's all. I hope it helps.
Just ignore the person who manipulate you. Matuto tayong tumanggi at hindi maging sunod-sunuran. We will not always be submissive to those who raise us up or those who are around us. The second one is have a clear boundaries. Make it simple. Ipaalam mo sa ibang tao kung hanggang saan lang sila. It is not about social standing in life. It's all about how they treat you. Sabihin mo sa kanila na hindi ka basta utos-utosan lang. You are not a blob of mob that they can shape you and control you. The third one is getting comfortable with saying no. When most of us are asked for a favor, we immediately say yes, even if we are unsure if we can do it. But it is literally incorrect. Tulad na sabi ko sa una, matuto tayong tumanggi. Dahil hindi sa lahat ng oras, kaya natin ang lahat. Kailangan din natin ng panahon para sa sarili natin. We also require rest and peace of mind. Let's be comfortable with saying no. The next one is don't react. All manipulators are interested in playing with your feelings and emotion. Halimbawa, naging masaya ka dahil may nangyaring maganda sa buhay mo. At dahil nakasubaybay sa iyo ang mga manipulators, gagawa at gagawa sila ng paraan para maiba ang emosyon mo, maging malungkot o galit ka. Because it's give them pleasure to sabotage your life. So if you notice something different in what someone's showing you, just ignore it. Because if you notice them, their plan will be successful for you. The last one is take a time out. Your life decisions are a good example of this. What do you want to achieve? What do you want to go in college? What kind of job do you want to get? When you tell the manipulators that you don't know what to do, they will try and push you into a corner with making decisions that you're not ready to make. Kaya kung ikaw ay nagdadalawang isip pa, sarilihin mo muna lahat. Magpahinga ka, mag-isip ka, pag-isipan mo mabuti ang lahat. Huwag na huwag kang manghihingi ng tulong sa mga manipulators. Allow yourself time to think.
Thank you for that, Angela and Jonalyn. At syempre, congrats sa lahat ng nakaabot sa dulo ng webinar na to. Hindi ka na sad boy. Char! Sana may natutunan kayo sa webinar na ito. Kung ikaw man yung tao na minamanipulate, Kung kaibigan mo man to, boyfriend, girlfriend, or family, sana maayos yung relationship nyo. Sana nagkaroon ka ng insights at ng wisdom kung paano ba dapat ang gawin. At kung ikaw naman sa tingin mo yung manipulator, ikaw yung sad boy or sad girl, sana nagkaroon ka din ng insight, sana nakapag-reflect ka din sa sarili mo, at sana nakatulong din tong webinar na to para mag-grow ka. Yun lang at salamat sa pakikinig. Sa uulitin!